Hello, hello. Welcome. You've reached a majestic moment. If you've reached this corner by an accident or even on purpose, thank you. Welcome. My name is L.A and I'm your hostess. Welcome to the channel. Definitely do subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, share. There may be somebody out there that you know that potentially needs to hear whatever these gems that I'm about to drop are. And it's always gems dropped. So definitely do subscribe to the channel. It keeps it going. It keeps it percolating. It keeps it popping. It keeps it moving so that people that need to hear these kinds of messages potentially can. So thank you. Welcome again. Today, we're going to talk about how you need to learn to say no. How you need to learn to say no. It's something that's so small. It's so small, 2 letters. 1 syllable, it's so small, but it weighs so much. So many people have such a hard time saying no. People that request their time, people that request their energy, people that request their efforts, people that request their mentality to figure something out. You have a right to say no. You owe nothing to anyone but yourself. Right? You have to set boundaries with people. That is your protection sometimes. And granted, you may have a sweetheart. You may have a good heart. You want to help people. You love people. You're kind. You don't want for anything. You don't need for anything. You have things abundantly. You still have to set boundaries because people see that and they take advantage of that. People can see that from afar and they take advantage of that. So you have to protect yourself. And sometimes you have to say no. You can't save the world. You can do your part. But that doesn't mean completely obliterating what it is that you need for yourself and protecting your energy and saying no to people. Sometimes that's what it is. Listen, sometimes that's what it is. And people have to swallow that. They have to deal with that shit. Like, you have a right. It's not etched in stone anywhere. There's no legal laws binding anybody to say yes every time someone requests something from them. You have to protect your energy. And that's not to say to not help people at times. That's a part of your duty as a human. You are to help people. But don't feel like when you have that feeling inside, and we all have it, and it's almost indescribable, right? We all have that feeling sometimes when we're requested of something. And it brings us to a place of, that's a no. That's a no. Don't grudgingly do it because you said yes and you didn't want to do it. So now you have animosity within what you're doing. There's no compassion in it. You complain, you gripe. Why did you say yes? Why? This is a time of elevation. This is a time of focus. This is a time of self. If you can focus on yourself and you can provide what's necessary for yourself, then you can do that. But when it's stretching you thin and you have to grudgingly take on the responsibility, why? You don't have to. You don't have to. You have to protect your energy. Create boundaries with people. Create boundaries with people. Like, you're probably in a place where you have things that you want to do. You have your creativity juices flowing, and you may want to start a YouTube channel. You may want to create some sort of journaling way of expressing something that you're going through, or something that you went through. You may want to start some sort of business, a food business, a clothing business, whatever kind of business it is. This is the time where you need to dive and dwell into that and not feel like you need to allow everybody to poke and prod and pick at you so that you don't have time for yourself with the necessary. Like, what are you doing? You need to focus on you. And at times where you need to say no, it's okay. You can say no. You can do it. You don't owe anybody anything. Why are you doing it? Stop. Pause. Think about it. Why are you doing it? It doesn't even make sense, right? Right? Like, you have to focus and understand that you have to provide what you can. What you can't, you can't. And that's that. And sometimes you don't even need to put an explanation behind what it is that you're not doing. Because that's what it is. Like, why do I have to explain to you why the logistics behind why I'm not doing something that you're requesting from me. That's crazy. Who made that up? Who made that up? And who set the precedence that it needs to be followed? Like, sometimes you need to say no. And don't allow the universe to intervene and make it a no. And 9 times out of 10, when the universe has to intervene, it's supposed to have been a no. You weren't listening to your intuition. You weren't focusing on that voice that you heard inside your head. You did what you wanted to do. But now you're in a situation where you have no control because the universe intervened and it was supposed to be a no. So now you understand and now you get it and now you don't do it. So at the end of the day, you have to focus. Focus on what's necessary for you. Put the pieces of the puzzle together that fit. Don't force the pieces to go in. They don't fit. Hello. They don't fit. Don't force it. Don't force it. But you definitely have to understand when there's times to say no, that you say no. And that takes courage. That takes endurance. That takes courage. That takes strength. Have that strength. You don't always have to say yes. And then a lot of times the same people that are requesting whatever it is from you can't even give you a quarter of what it is that you potentially may need from them. So you have to be, very particular. You have to have discernment when you even apply it. When you even apply it in the first place. But when you do, if you can't do it, you can't do it. There's too many people out here that, take on other people's responsibility because they feel like they have the ability to just pawn it off to somebody else because they don't want to deal with it. Because they don't want to deal with it. No, you have to bask in the ambience of your strength and know when to say no. Know when to say no and not just know it, but execute it and stand behind it. Not go back with an excuse of why you didn't and then do it. No, say no, and that's that. And there should be no love lost. There should be no love lost. You have a right to say no, just like you have a right to say yes. It's your prerogative. And if there is love lost, then guess what? On their behalf, that's what it's supposed to be. Too many people put emotion behind it. Too many people put emotion behind requesting something from someone. And when the answer is no, they allow their feelings to take over, which they should. But that's personal. Because your feelings should take over just as much when you don't want to do it and you feel like you don't want to do it. Like, those are God-given things. Feelings, those are there with us for a reason. Those are God-given. The divine provides all of us with those things personally. And everybody's, feelings with specifically what they are at different levels. There's a meter. So, you can't go get a gladness transplant. You can't be infused with anger. You can't have surgery to replace joy. No, it doesn't work like that. Those are God-given. So you have to pay attention when those things arise up in you. That's your intuition speaking to you. That is, your higher power, the universe speaking to you. If you can say no, and you can stand behind that and mean that and continue to go on with your life and no love is lost, and you protect your energy and you set your boundaries, you can manifest. You can manifest things because you have the strength and the power and the understanding of what it takes for a situation to exist the way it needs to exist with a thought of yours, with a thought and then an action behind it, and a sticking of that action. You can manifest. You can live a very, very fruitful life. You can put yourself in situations where, the next person could never. Could never. So definitely know when to say no. It's all good. It is all good in the neighborhood. You can say no. Like, that's why it exists. That's why it exists. The definition of it is to oppose, whatever's presented. No. No. You can say no. You're free to do it, especially when you're an adult, when you're a grown-ass person. How you out here running around doing what everybody tell you to do because they want you to do it? Meanwhile, you have dreams, you have goals, you have visions, you have, different things that you want to do and prosper in, and you have no time to do it. You letting time go by, you wasting time doing for everybody else. When do you come in? When is it your turn? Now. Now is the time. Now is the time. And you can still, give, because in order for you to receive, you need to give. So help. Help there when you can. But when you can't, you can't. And the reason why you can't is because you have something going on in front of you that's a focus for you, on you, about you. You have to grab, and you have to understand, you have to digest this. We as a people are too busy people pleasing, too busy making sure this person is, liking me, and I'm up to par for this person to like me, and everything is Gucci for this person to accept me. For what? Create your own bubble, create your own circle, create your own game. Be your own game pieces. Like, you don't need to fit in, stand out. Stand out. That's my motto. Like, I don't want to fit in. I'm too different. Like, my spirit is too loud for me to fit in. I can't. I'm always overdressed. I'm always the one that's just looked at and stops the whole motion of the atmosphere. And I'm always the one that's extra. Like, I'm supposed to be that. And I think that you are too. I think you need to live and understand that you are who you are, and you can only maintain who you are. You can't live a life for you and someone else. Seriously. You have to understand this. And I know a lot of things that were said just hit home. They resonated. Subscribe to this channel. Like this video. There's a lot of magic that goes on here. And sometimes you just need somebody else to give you the green light, to give you the, yeah, I was right. I thought that. The few times that I said something and you were like, oh, yeah. Sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else. But you have to learn to say no. It's not going to take anything away from their life. It's not going to take anything away from your life. If anything, it's going to make you gain momentum. It's going to make you gain strength. It's going to make you gain whatever it is that you're focused on so that you can obtain it. You have the time to do it. You have the focus to do it. You have the energy to do it because you're not ripping and running around and doing this and doing that for everybody else. Like, you don't need to have those conversations with yourself about every time they need something, why they gotta call me? Every time they need something, I'm the first person they think about. They always gotta call me. Why can't I be the fourth person? Why can't they figure it out on their own? Why can't they call somebody else? Like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like, save yourself from even going through that. And don't also say no and then still ride the wave. Like, don't say no and then beyond you saying no. Because they always in my phone, and every time I turn, no, for what? You already said no. You already said no. Why you juggling? Now you a clown. Like, don't even do it. You played yourself. You're playing yourself because you already said no. So you still allowed those emotions and that ill energy to bubble up and fester. Now you're in it. You might as well say yes. You might as well say yes. Say no and let it go. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you guys coming through. I always appreciate you guys coming through. It's great talking to you. It's great having these conversations and allowing us to interact with each other and just share experiences. If you've been, in a place where you're really feeling this, you're really in a place where it's like, damn, she talking to me. This is where I am. This is the problem I'm having. It's a new year. Like, come on now. Like, grab a hold of this. Grab a hold of this and become the boss person that you need to be and protect your energy. Say no when you need to say no. It's all good. It's crazy good. Like, you don't have to say yes. But thank you. I appreciate you guys for coming through. I appreciate the messages that I'm allowed to receive to deliver to you guys. This is all divinely guided. I meditate before I make these videos. So, the message I got was learn how to say no. Learn how to say no. And I know that there's more than one person that understands that they themselves need to learn how to say no. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming. Come back. Let's talk.